All right. So last time we left off, the group had forged ahead through the bulk of Argynvostolt, the now uh, sort of derelict manor of Argynvost and the Order of the Silver Dragon, fighting their way all the way up to the third floor, where they met a number of undead knights who, though some of them seemed to be interested, or at least amenable to the idea of helping the group out in their quest against Strahd. They mentioned that due to the oaths they had sworn to the leader of their order, they wouldn't be able to really assist in any meaningful way. Through that conversation, the group also learned that said leader was also on the third floor, just down the hall, in fact. But instead of making that trip and engaging with him in whatever capacity that might entail, they decided to head out toward the front of the manor, regroup, maybe take a rest, and maybe go at things when they're in a little better shape. So, as you've all kind of reconvened out by Rictavio's wagon, and Malkar's still just sitting out there working on his staff, what are you guys doing?
Um, I know before I said I was casting the tiny hut. Uh, Before I did that, could I have gone back to where we saw the dragon that talked about the knights and see if I can locate the dragon again?
Yeah, so you head into the first set of double doors on the first floor, kind of leading out of the grand entry hall, and look around in the room where you had found what looked like a coffin of sorts that had been converted to a kind of wine storage area. And you look at the fireplace where the flaming dragon had materialized from before, and try as you might, you can't seem to get that thing to show up again.
Hmm. Damn. Is there a bed in this room?
Um, Not really. This was more of a kind of a lounge area. So there's some broken furniture, like, some tables and maybe bits and pieces of an old chair.
Hmm. There's not an intact chair, right?
Not really. Everything in this room is pretty much scrapped.
Hmm. Is there a cushion of a chair?
Yeah, you could probably find a cushion sitting around somewhere.
Alright, I'll grab a cushion then and I'll just kind of say, well, if you want to talk, Mr. Dragon, we're just going to be outside. I had a few questions for you about how to save your knights, but we'll be back in the morning. I'll grab the cushion, walk out, and close the door,
Okay.
and go out. And then that's when I'll cast the bubble.
All right. Is there anything that anyone else would like to have been doing while Ron was trying to relocate the dragon?
I want, during the next hour, to take a short rest.
A short rest before a long rest?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, I would say it might carry over a little bit into the period of the long rest, but you're able to, sit and kind of take a breather. Um, Anything else anyone would like to do before kind of setting up for the night?
I'd like to cast a spell at the end of my short rest.
What spell would you like to cast? Locate creature. Okay, and what creature would you like to locate?
The hags.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. So,
It lasts for an hour, so.
all right. The results of the spell are kind of confusing. As you focus on one of the hags that you've seen, and as you're kind of picturing it in your mind, you can see it, and you can sort of see things beginning to materialize kind of in its periphery, so as to sort of place it and get an idea of where it is. But it simultaneously seems very close and infinitely far away.
Huh. Do I know why this might be?
Let's see. Go ahead and make. Let's call this an Arcana check.
No.
Yeah, not so much. Maybe your spell's broken.
Okay, I will sleep then.
Okay.
Staying up for another 2 hours to finish my staff, so I'll be ready in the morning.
All right. Something from Austin?
Can I take some time and fix up the suit of armor?
Yeah, sure. Let's see. Let me see if you have anything that would help you with that.
If he needs my help for magical reasons, I could do that. Take breaks from my staff.
I have smithing tools and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that's
experience with them.
Perfect. Okay. So let's see. I guess I could kind of treat this like a hit dice situation for the animated armor. So let me take a look at something real quick. All right. So Austin, go ahead and roll a d6 for me. Okay. So over the next, let's call it a couple hours, you're able to kind of bang some of the dents out of this thing and ultimately heal it up for, let's see, let me roll 2 of its hit dice because you rolled a 2. Okay, so you're able to heal it for a total of 20 hit points.
Damn.
Okay.
Don't even need my help.
Alright, so the thing is now looking considerably better. Yeah, it's, if you had to guess, maybe just below 90%.
Okay.
And, yeah, okay. Any other maintenance or whatever related stuff?
I think so.
Anybody?
I took the cushion and I essentially am using it as a pillow, and I'm just sitting up on. Is Melkar up on top of the wagon still?
Yeah.
All right, I'm up on top with him, and just as is my usual, I'm trying to hotbox the sphere with Melkar.
Okay. Fair enough.
Like, I think I'm in there too.
I think pretty much everybody is.
Well, yeah, you're all getting a very relaxing rest.
But I mean, you guys can come and go as you please.
Yeah, I kind of picture it as like everybody congregates and then Ron casts it, and then everyone except Ron is kind of free to go about whatever else they want to do.
Yeah.
Just Ron has to make sure he stays inside the confines of the hut.
Yes.
So, cool. All right. Any watches or anything, or are you guys just gonna kind of huddle together in the hut when it kind of comes down to bedtime?
Huddle in the hut.
Huddle in the hut. Okay.
I'll be awake for the whoosh hours, so I can kind of do like a maybe perception check at disadvantage since I'm working.
Okay. Um.
I'm
Cool.
up with him. I'm not really paying attention to really anything, just kind of chilling.
Okay. So for like those first 2 hours or so, the rest of the group is sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, just for fun, Brown, go ahead and roll a d4.
Alright.
Great.
All right. Yeah. So the two of you sit up and continue the slow burn of the black grass up there inside the hut. Malkar, you do eventually finish your staff, and so that is available to you, and you're no longer confined to things that would have easy components for you to find sitting around. And then if there's nothing else, I guess you guys kind of tuck in for the night.
I'll shake Yoan awake after about 2 hours and say, Yoan, do you want to watch out for the hags?
Well, I cast a spell to locate them, and it hasn't told me that they're near.
Well, didn't they
But-
say that they were on some other plane?
Yeah. I mean, I don't... If they're on a different plane, how am I supposed to see them?
Good point. Alright, good night. I just go up and go
I'll
to
fall
sleep.
back asleep.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So, you notice as you're kind of preparing, Rictavio's going around kind of the edge of the hut, and you see him seemingly laying out some kind of spell of his own. And let's see. Yeah. So it's a familiar looking spell. You actually saw him use it earlier today. It's the magic circle spell that he seems to be using as a ward of sorts. Now that you guys are kind of back out in the wild and perhaps in his mind a little more susceptible to, well, hags among other things. Okay, so he sets that up, and you see this series of glowing runes that have sort of this like golden sunlight hue to them as they radiate light out from the top of the wagon. All right, so then you all kind of tuck in for the night. Austin, were you going to say something?
Oh, no.
Okay. Cool. So, let's see here.
Melkar doesn't burst into flames once he finishes the spell, does he?
He does not seem to burst into flames now.
Okay.
All right. So, um, you are all awakened by the neighing of the horse. And it just seems unsettled, kind of pawing at the ground and just kind of fidgeting. Seem very concerned about something.
I want to look around, see what I can find.
What
Okay.
time is it?
It's been probably about 6 hours.
I wake up, look
Okay.
around, and go, I'm blind! Because I can't see in the dark.
I can see just fine.
Yeah.
I
so-
tell Ron to shush.
Okay.
Yeah, if anyone would like to make a perception check, you certainly can do that. If you don't have dark vision, so that'd be like, what, Ron?
Yep.
Nope,
Nope, no perception check.
disadvantage.
Nope, I
Okay.
auto-fail it.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. Cool. So, actually, the only one to notice anything out of place is Yoan. And as you're kind of peering around, maybe trying to follow the horse's gaze or whatever, you look out toward the woods that you would have traveled through on your way to the manor. And you can just barely make out a series of vaguely humanoid forms just at the tree line. There's just that little hint of moonlight shining down on them, just enough to give them away.
I will whisper this information.
Do I look over there?
Yeah, and with them having been pointed out, it's still kind of hard. But yeah, you can see what Yoan is referring to. They just seem to be standing there.
How far away did you say it was?
I didn't, but if I had to give you a number, I'd say it's probably 50 feet away.
I'm looking in the complete opposite direction. I think I see him.
Ron is like pointing at the stone statue of the dragon out front.
Yes. Oh god, it's big. Wait, maybe it's the dragon that I asked to come visit us.
I'm just ignoring Ron.
It might be for the best.
I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm gonna put one arm up and like wave overhead it.
Okay. There is no response.
I go back to sleep.
Okay.
I watch them.
Me being me,
Okay.
I attempt to cast message at the dragon statue, not realizing that the spell can't go through my bubble.
Yeah, for whatever reason, you just can't quite seem to get in touch with that dragon over there. Okay.
I just try to message it and say, yeah, I'll talk to you in the morning. I go back to sleep.
Alright, fair enough. And so Yoan is just keeping his eyes trained on these things over by the woods.
Yeah, I can do that as my watch, right? After 6 hours?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can definitely do that. And yeah, you just do that for like the next 2 hours as everybody gets the rest of their sleep or whatever.
Yup.
Okay. So 2 tense hours pass. The whole time, these things don't seem to move an inch. But eventually, the dark night sky kind of gives way to the grayish color of just before dawn. And the rest of the party eventually begins to come to.
I tell them that they're still there.
Do we get our benefits of the long rest?
You do.
Sweet.
What are those benefits?
So your HP gets restored to max, and you can regain up to half of your total hit dice. So like, if you have like 8, you would get 4 back after completing a long rest, kind of deal.
Okay, I'm only missing one.
Okay, then you're topped off.
Okay.
I
And if
didn't
you-
roll a hit die, I just wanted to know what it was.
Okay.
And if you are a spellcaster, you get all your spells back.
Ah,
He is a
Fighter.
yes. He is an axe wizard,
Well,
or in this case, sword wizard.
you do get all your skills back. So like your, is it the?
okay.
Yeah.
So I have second wind.
Yeah.
Second wind, action surge,
Yeah, that one. That's what I was
any expendable stuff like that, you do get back.
I think he gets those back at short rest.
I think
Probably.
So too. I get all my bardic inspiration back.
Yep. Yeah, those are
Indeed.
only short rest or long rest.
Cool. Well, either way, you got everything back.
Okay.
And yeah, it's kind of just reaching dawn. So what are you guys doing?
Well, very shortly after this, my bubble pops. Because it's only 8 hours. So,
Mm-hmm.
Can I make out any more details on these creatures in the light?
Go ahead and make another perception check now that things have kind of cleared up a bit.
Oh, and I finally show Ron where they are.
If he can pick them out. Okay, yeah, I would say it's considerably easier now. And so actually both of you, as you're kind of looking out toward the woods, you can see, yeah, there are definitely humanoid-looking shapes out there.
You said they're 50 feet away?
Thereabouts.
I'm going to cast a message and say, hello?
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, there's no response.
Oh, they're dumber than that dragon I tried to talk to last night.
I mumble under my breath, where Ron can't hear the thought that I'm pretty sure that stone dragon is smarter than you.
Huh? What? Huh? Did you say something, Yohan?
Nope, I was just thinking about playing my bongos.
Ah. Must have been the voices in my head again. I look back to where the dragon was. At this point,
Mhm.
what do I see? Is it the stone dragon?
Yeah, you see a stone dragon up on a pedestal, facing the massive double doors of Argynvostholt.
That's weird. I didn't know dragons turned to stone in the sunlight. How unfortunate.
Okay. So, what's the plan?
You said those things are still over there?
Yeah. And by Yoan's reckoning, they haven't moved in at least 2 hours.
Is it brighter out now?
Yeah.
Can I tell what they are from here?
You can make a new perception check.
Okay. Nope.
Yeah, you can't exactly tell from here, but I mean, all of you rolled above a 10, so I would say you can all see that there are what looks to be 4 of them, 2 on each side of the road that leads into the property. So, as the wagon was configured last time, there would be 2 kind of directly toward the woods from where you are, and then 2 more a little farther off, kind of across the driveway, so to speak.
Is Rictavio up at this point, or is it just us?
He's just getting up, kind of with the rest of the group.
Alright, I'll nudge Rictavio and say, hey, what is that over there? And I'll point to him.
Okay. And he will take a look. He kind of furrows his brow and strokes his chin and says, looks like a scarecrow?
Oh. I knew that. I was just testing to make sure your eyes were working. Mine didn't work last night.
Those weren't there before. I am going to investigate them.
I will go behind Yoan.
I'll go as well.
I'll follow along.
Okay. So safe to assume you're going toward one of the closer two to you?
Yes.
Okay. Alright. So how are you going to go about investigating these scarecrows?
Well, first I would like to approach them. Then I want to see if they're at all, animated, to do an Arcana check.
Okay. Go ahead and make that check.
It's better than that one.
It is twice as good as a nat 1. It's a nat 2. I mean, there's nothing about it that like screams, "Look at me, I'm magic."
Can I see any evidence of who put these here?
So what, like tracks leading from them or something to that effect?
Yeah.
Well, go ahead and make a survival check. Alright. So you kind of poke around the perimeter of this scarecrow, and the side near the manor looks all clear. Along the tree line looks all clear. You can see behind the scarecrow there looks to be a single set of footprints.
Are all the scarecrows like the same, or do they look distinctly different?
Mostly similar, but I would say that there's probably some differences in the cloth that they're kind of stitched together with, and maybe they've got holes in different places that are kind of letting some of the straw kind of poke out. They're not exact duplicates of one another.
I'm gonna look at the most well put together one and say, "You call that a well put together scarecrow? It's just some cloth and some hay," and I'm gonna attempt to viciously mock it.
Okay. Just walking up and mocking the scarecrow.
Yes.
Okay. I wonder how a scarecrow does on a wisdom save. I mean, it doesn't seem to react in any way.
Okay, I'll just walk up to it then.
Okay.
Are the tracks that are behind it humanoid?
Yeah, best you can tell, bipedal. Let's see here. Yoan, go ahead and roll a d20 for me. Okay. So, right as you are noticing, kind of reaching the conclusion that, wait a second, these tracks only go one way. The scarecrow that Ron just walked up to is going to spring to life.
Oh boy.
And it is going to swing on Ron twice.
Okay.
All right. So that is a crit
Alright.
and a 19.
Can I try to cutting words the 19?
Sure.
So after he hits me with the crit, you want to handle that first, and then I can.
Sure. You take 11 points of slashing damage, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy. Nope.
That's 0.
At least it's not a -1.
So, so Ron, you get like slashed by this thing, as you see the fabric on the kind of sack that forms the head just split into this sort of jack-o'-lantern-esque face, and as it drags these claws of like crunchy raw plant matter across you. You are fucking terrified.
Yep. I look at it and go, Yoan, help! That hurt! And that'll be my cutting words for the second one.
Okay.
Just say that hurt as I'm like backpedaling.
I'll try to come to Ron's aid.
Nope, didn't work. It still hits me.
All right, so you take another 7 points of slashing damage.
Alright. Cool.
All right, and then I suppose at this point I'm going to get things situated so we can roll some initiative.
Shouldn't shit talk the scarecrow.
And I'll have you know it made that wisdom save.
That was a complete and utter joke too, because. Yep. All right.
The scarecrow is wiser than you are.
Oh, that's 100% for sure.
All right. So, kind of situationally, what I've got here is obviously Ron's right in front of it. Yoan's behind it because he was just investigating the tracks that kind of lead up to it. Austin, you said Dane kind of followed, so I've got you like a couple spots behind Ron, just sort of watching, I guess.
Okay.
Everybody else is still over by the wagon.
Yep. I call for my suit of armor to just come down too when I see it attack.
Do we have a map
Okay.
for this?
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I have everybody put in the right spot before I move over there.
Oh, okay.
Cool. So then, that being the case,
You made any decisions about my spell?
probably the blood thing doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. So, I'd say you could do it without that. I mean, again, reskinning the true name thing doesn't make sense. Maybe you'd be able to kind of luck into summoning the same ones multiple times, but you don't have precise control over that.
Okay.
Anything else you had a question about?
No. Fine.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
All right. And so everybody go ahead and roll your initiative
Using the initiative button.
using the initiative button.
Eh. Shit.
Yeah, double shit.
And Dane, if you click on your little like guy up in the
Oh.
upper left, it has the initiative button. If you click that, it does.
Oh boy.
Wait, I thought. How did
Ah. Okay,
you
there we
only
go.
roll the 21
Wow.
and then a 1?
I don't know. I have things selected. Maybe because I selected it.
Because I see a 21, a 22, and then a 3.
Well,
Rolled a 19,
well,
a 20, and a
right. Did you see the counter and the map and everything when you rolled?
Yeah, and I rolled, and then Ron showed up.
Yeah, she rolled after me. Mine got up there.
Interesting.
So just
Okay, I'm gonna give you that 21.
Hooray! I'm not gonna fucking die. At least not yet.
Does Dane get a 19?
Yeah, I'll give that to him.
Woo!
'Cause I don't think he knew about the whole initiative thing yet.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's new to everybody. We just kind of instituted it last week.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay. So, Yoan, what you doing?
Gonna use your push to talk.
I'm going to think silently.
Yeah, she just said that was it.
Oh, she
She's
wasn't
umming.
before.
Sorry.
There
It's-
seems to be a lot of conferring to, or referring, I should say, to spells or something, maybe?
Yeah, spells.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I am going to cast this and summon 2 brown bears
Brown bears.
and tell them to attack the scarecrows. This one first.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Cool.
Oh,
Those look cool.
All right, so now I got to roll initiative for these guys too.
And before they roll 22.
pretty damn close.
Yeah,
They
pretty
get to-
fucking close.
This is actually the best they could roll, pretty much.
Yeah. So. Yeah,
My
they
bears
just
go next.
Well, they have to wait
No.
for Dane.
Yeah.
I go.
Oh, well, yeah, but yay!
And
Okay.
I gotta roll initiative for Dane's armor too. And actually, well, fuck, I gotta roll initiative for all these other NPCs back here.
Roll everything.
Ah!
Roll initiative for the stone dragon.
Oh,
Oh,
Yoan cut in line.
but how did that work with Esmeralda? Did she just skip a turn?
Well, she's gonna have to run her ass over there anyway, so I'll just say she dashed.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So now we get to Dane.
All right. And move up to here.
Okay.
Take 2 swings with the sun sword at it.
All right. Nice.
Jeez.
Point of order. I will have to look and see what these things are actually considered. Because knowing things I know, there are a few different things that would make sense.
They're considered scarecrows.
That is true. But, okay. So, yeah, that is 2 swings and 2 big hits. You are beating the stuffing out of this thing, though it is not quite dead yet.
All right.
All right. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Cool. Time for the brown bears, who were told to attack next scarecrow down. So, each one of them gets a bite attack and a claw attack. Alright. So between the 2 of them, they hit a grand total of once. Yeah, the one connects with its claws and rips one, gash kind of in the torso of the scarecrow down here. Alright. Next up is Rictavio. And he dashed, so that's that for him. Animated armor. Dane just kind of called it to help in the battle, basically.
Yep. However far I can get this way.
Okay. So, movement speed of 25. Alright, that's as far as it gets on a dash. So, Ron, what are you doing?
I'm gonna take one look at this thing and turn around and, take a step, but you just see me kind of disappear in mist and appear behind the suit of armor. I'm misty stepping away from it.
Fair enough.
And I'm just gonna kind of peek over the shoulder of the armor and say, "What the fuck, man? That's scary." And I'm gonna touch myself and cast Cure Wounds at level 1 on myself.
Gotta love when D&D forces somebody to say, "And I touch myself."
Yep. That being said, I'm also going to take my movement, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna say, "Melkar, help! There's scary things over there!" And then that'll end my turn.
Okay, which leads nicely to Melkar. What are you doing?
I'm going to approach Ron and say, "Did you say something about something being scary? You haven't seen anything yet." And I pull out my new arcane focus and cast Summon Greater Aberration. And I want to summon a Mind Witness right next to Ron.
Fun. Let's see if it'll show up. There we go.
Can you describe that for me?
Tentacle monster with eyes.
I just look over and cheerily say, hello!
So, let's see. Actually, Ron, go ahead and make a history check.
History check.
Yeah. Okay. So you've heard of these things called beholders before. This seems like some twisted bastardization of what you have heard described in the stories. Almost as though the horrific creature you've heard tell about underwent some other kind of transformation. And you just see this mass of tentacles and eye stalks and this big open eye in the center of this thing's body mass as it just kind of hovers there.
Is there any mouth that I can see? Like any jagged teeth or anything dangerous other than just a giant floppy flesh ball with eye stalks?
The thing is big enough that you might be able to get a little bit of a glance at the kind of underside, which has sort of the like the squid mouth thing going on.
Okay. I'll look at Malkar. The fuck's with the weird squid?
I'll explain it later, but he's gonna help us now.
Okay.
I want to telepathically command this thing to kill those scarecrows.
Okay. More initiative. Womp womp. I mean, I guess it works because it gets to move sooner.
If it moves away from me, I do want to reach out and try to touch it. I don't want to attack it or anything, just reach out and try to see what it feels like.
Okay, fair enough. Anything else from Malkar?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So that brings us to the scarecrows. All right. So the one that kind of started this whole ordeal is. Let's see.
Is it confused as to where the fuck I went? Because I just kind of poofed and ghosted away from it.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly strange. All right. So it is going to turn on Dane, who's now the only one within range, and take a couple swings. These scarecrows and these crits. All right. So first one is a crit. Only for 9 points of slashing damage, though.
Okay.
So we can mark that off. There you go. And I need you to make a wisdom save. Alright, so Dane as well is terrified of this thing. From a functional standpoint, it means you can't move closer to it, but that's not technically possible anyway. But also, as long as you are able to see the thing, you have disadvantage on attacks.
Okay.
The next attack is a crit fail. And so it swipes, and you just see a bit of straw come kind of puffing out of its torso as the holes are now kind of ripping open a little bit more, and it's harder and harder for the thing to keep its form.
Is it so comical he's no longer frightened?
Not so much.
I tried.
You did. Okay. Next is the one that is being engaged by the bears. It is going to make for what looks to be the nearest, frailest target in what it doesn't know is Monster Slayer Rictavio. Incurring, let's see, 1 attack of opportunity from a bear along the way. It swings with its claws and hits, dealing 12 points of slashing damage. Not bad. So now the Scarecrow attacks Rictavio after getting mauled by the bear. 2 claw attacks. What the fuck? That's a crit. Need to make a save for Rictavio. Rictavio ain't scared of shit.
I mean, he's Rictavio. He can't be.
So then that's another claw attack from the Scarecrow on Rictavio, which also hits, but is not a crit. Rictavio took quite a beating in that round. I mean, he's not like on his way out, but he kind of got mauled there. Okay. 2 more Scarecrows down across the road. Gonna dash to get there. And they can't attack because they dashed. Now the Mind Witness gets to go.
Again, I want to use my reaction to reach out and touch it.
Of course. Alright. So Malkar just kind of gave it the order to help the group in combat, yeah?
Yeah, kill the Scarecrows.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. I am going to roll some d6. Actually, Malkar, go ahead and roll some d6s for me. 3 of them, specifically.
Oh. 9.
Okay. So, as you were watching, the eye stalks on this thing begin to glow an array of different colors, and these balls of energy sort of coalesce around them, and eventually just blast off and launch themselves toward the Scarecrows. Let's see. I would say from here, it probably only has an angle on the top 2 and just barely even the second one. But so let's see. It's going to fire 2 rays at the top Scarecrow and 1 at the bottom. So, one ray impacts the top Scarecrow, and let's see what happens.
It bursts into flame.
Okay. It seems to shake off this first one. Second one, it also shakes off, surprisingly. And then this purple beam shoots toward the the one nearest Esmeralda. And let's see. Hey, Braun, go ahead and roll 6d8 for me.
Oh,
Oh! Holy crap.
1d7.
Okay. And all right. So the thing is, it's menacing Rotavio. It's still got his blood on its claws, and as it's like snarling at him from within like the sack that forms its head, the purple ray just blasts it square in the head, and it just reaches up, clutching at the sack, and there's like this horrifying, otherworldly scream as it just collapses, twitching on the ground, and just falls apart.
It's like a purple Spartan laser from Halo 3.
I laugh in the bag.
Oh, that's amazing.
All right. And I guess the thing's going to move into better position now to rain down death and destruction.
Our reaction takes place.
Yes. Ron reaches out and kind of awkwardly rubs one of the tentacles.
Does it feel like a squid?
Kinda.
Okay.
Are we doing the charisma saves at the end of its turn?
Yes.
Alright. My spell DC is 15.
Okay. Technical difficulty. Dramatic tension, but also free scroll is fucking me up pretty bad right now. What is happening? There we go. Okay. All right. It does not make the save.
Woohoo!
So, that will then bring us to Esmeralda, who, having seen danger come running up to her, is going to kind of step over the one fallen scarecrow. Kind of on a diagonal. And unload on it. So that is going to be 2 pokes with her rapier, 2 hits, and then 1 swing with her silvered short sword, which also hits. So just poking holes in this thing left and right. There's straw flying everywhere. And it is still standing, but looking pretty fucked up. Okay. So, Yoan, what are you doing?
How is this one doing in front of me?
Looking pretty ragged.
Okay. I'm going to send my bears to come attack this one.
The far one?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. This one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to cast Thorn Whip on that one.
Okay. Cast Thorn Whip you do, and hit it you do. Are you gonna pull it?
Nope. I'm
Okay.
perfectly fine with it saying exactly where it is. Just here to do damage.
Okay. It is still standing, but like there are various parts of it that are just spewing hay at this point.
Well, I can spew some of the hate towards me, just not it itself.
Okay, so you give it a little tug and just
Yeah, exactly.
a little tuft of it just kind of flutters down to the ground.
Okay. I think
Okay.
that sounds good.
All right, Dane.
All right. Take a couple more swings with my sword.
All right. So I'll say I will tell you that first one hits and is more than enough to just bisect the thing. And the two halves just kind of tumble down to the ground with a kind of dull, grassy thud.
All right. Can I start moving towards the other ones?
Yeah. So you've got a 25 movement speed, so
How do
Yeah,
I
you
tell
could
how
actually-
far that is?
there you go.
I'm over
I-
there.
Yeah, I mean you could squeeze by them. If you want, you
Okay.
could go to the space like right below Esmeralda and take a swing at the scarecrow
Okay.
there. That's also looking kind of rough.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll say that second attack goes toward that. 23 definitely hits, 9 points of slashing damage. And this thing is now looking about as bad as that other one that you just hit. Like probably one more hit will do the job.
All right. I think that's it.
Okay. Bears. So I'll just move them both in position here. Okay. And then, as instructed, they're going to attack the bottom right scarecrow. Bite, claw, bite, claw. This time they do considerably better and hit with all their attacks.
Good for them.
Dealing a very symmetrical 12, 8, 12, and 8.
Damn.
And between the two of them, they just take the scarecrow in their jaws, and it's like tug of war. They just pull the thing apart.
Ow.
Yeah,
Drawn and quartered by
fuck with
bears.
those brown bears.
Yeah.
All right, so that'll do it for them. Brings us to Rictavio. And he's now only got the one to deal with, and that one is not looking great. Let's see if the supposedly fragile old target can finish things off here. 2 attacks with his sword cane. And because he's feeling cheeky, he's just going to use it as a cane.
How dare you hit me? Whack.
That's a 20 and a crit.
Cheeky Octavio.
And he takes his sword cane, not even drawing the blade from it, and just clobbers the thing down to the ground. And
so
as
sad
it collapses
that I
and he's still just beating on it, you can see straw just flying everywhere.
Damn spooky kids, get off my lawn.
I'm so sad I missed it. Ron missed it.
And with that, I guess we're out of initiative.
Wasn't there the two? Oh, never mind, they moved up.
Everything's
Yeah,
good.
they moved up. One of them got torn apart by bears.
The other one got Rictavio'd and Esmeralda'd. And then the third one got splazered by your eyeball sack over there.
I want to go up to it and rub it, like rub my cheek against its tentacles.
Ron would like to follow and do the same.
Okay, there is an oddly sexual moment.
So, Yeah, Ron's rubbing up against it, turns and sees brown bears, looks over and sees Yoan is kind of looking in the direction, goes, "Ah!" and runs over and jumps up on a brown bear and gives it a hug. Because Ron.
Okay.
Uh,
The brown bear just is like, what?
very, very trinket-esque. Just...
Ron is
Um,
easily amused.
Now knowing that these things indeed are special, can I do another check to try and figure out whence they came? What they are, besides scarecrows? It's brown.
Okay. So... what's Melkar's plan for the thing that he summoned?
I want to be able to talk to it.
Okay. So, are you going to like keep it here for the duration of the spell?
As long as it's not trying to kill us.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at because there's continued saves going on there.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
Doesn't-
instead of like rolling the absolute fuck ton of saves that would involve for the full hour that this spell can last for, I'm gonna have it go ahead and make 6 saves, one for approximately each 10 minutes.
Alright.
Okay. And well, you don't get to know what happens until
It happens.
stuff happens.
That's fine.
He will be the death of us all.
No, just himself. If you read the spell.
And possibly you, who is also rubbing its tentacle on your face.
No, I just ran up, gave it a hug, saw the brown bear, and decided, I'm gonna come over here and hug a brown bear instead.
The bear looks cuddlier.
Yes. That was like cuddling a squid versus cuddling, well, a bear skin rug.
I
On
tell
bear.
Ron that you can ride my bears much better than you can ride my spiders.
Ron hops on and like lays down and just like hugs the bear. Basically like a cub would on its back, kind of thing.
Okay. All right. So Melkar, best you can tell, this thing is still under your control. So, all right, did you say you wanted to talk to it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd want to first let it know that I'm gonna send it back to wherever it came from once we're done talking. It has nothing to worry about.
Okay. It sort of trains all of its various eyes on you and just seems to watch. You see the one massive eye in the center just blink.
I am watching it very warily. Do I know what this thing is?
Go ahead and make, make a history check. I'll give you the same kind of deal as Ron. It looks like some variation of a beholder. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure it's evil.
Yeah, or at least made of something evil.
Okay. Cool.
During all this, I'm
So,
triumphantly riding around on the brown bear.
okay. So the whole time it's kind of like looking up, kind of towards its back, like, So what else is Melkar getting into over here?
I want to ask if it's heard of the Great Cthulhu.
It says it has heard of many things.
I want to let it know that I'm going to attempt to summon him in the future. and I need to amass an army.
Just hovers there and blinks.
Would you be willing to join?
And it says, "Why would I do that?"
Prove your loyalty?
Any such power as the one to whom you refer would already know of my loyalty.
Can't be too loyal if you're not gonna help bring him back.
Blink.
I dropped concentration on the spell.
Oh, before he does that, I cast message on it and I say, "How do you hear with no ears?"
Ron asking the real questions here.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a d6 for me, Brown. Okay. So the mind witness, as you drop concentration, promptly begins closing distance on you.
Me?
You. And
What an asshole.
makes 2 attacks on you.
Alright.
One with its tentacles and one with its bite.
I didn't get a response today.
All right. So it closes the distance on you and proceeds to wrap you up in its tentacles. At which point you take 26 points of psychic damage.
Rip.
Oh, look, it's giving him a hug.
And you are grappled. It then chomps into your flesh as it's holding onto you, dealing another 11 points of piercing damage.
What the fuck?
You did this.
All right. Seeing this, I guess we'll carry on in the same initiative. So, brings us to Esmeralda.
Oh.
Oh, what? Okay. Esmeralda, seeing this, is, well, she doesn't know that the thing's just going to go away, so even if she doesn't like you, she'll probably close and try to do something about it. So luckily you get the full battery of attacks against it from Esmeralda. Alright, and she's only able to pierce through this thing's slimy hide once of those 3 attacks, dealing 12 points of piercing damage. And then that brings us to Yowen.
I am going to send my bears after it,
Okay.
and I want to be 30 feet away from it. I'm not sure where that positions me on the grid. Okay, sounds good. That's it.
I jump off the bear. I wanted to see if I realized what the bear was actually doing. So, yes, I do. I hop off the bear before it goes charging.
You didn't hear what I said, but never mind, it wasn't important. Dane, what are you doing?
Guess I have to dash towards it to get close enough.
Okay, so you go ahead and do that. You can move up to 10 spaces.
Each square is a space, or each one taps?
Basically, each tap. So, like, these larger squares that you see up to 4 people fitting in are 2 by 2.
Okay. Okay. Right, I think that's it.
Yeah, cool. All right. So, brown bears. Okay.
I'm able to hop off of it before it goes charging, right?
Yeah, I mean, go ahead and make a dex save, just see how graceful it is.
I'm actually
Okay.
quite proficient in this.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. So you kind of just flop off and roll in the dirt. Maybe your clothes get a little dusty, but other than that, you're fine. You don't take any damage or anything.
I stand
Proficient.
up in like a real performer pose, like I meant to do that.
You're proficient in jumping off black bears.
Like
Yes.
Willy
Brown
Wonka
bears.
falling as he walks out on the carpet.
Yep. Indeed.
Okay, so then attacks from the bears.
The bears.
The bears. Bite, claw, bite, claw. Hit, hit, miss, hit. Okay, so the bears come running and tear into the thing, doing a good bit of damage, and you see now this kind of like a light, bubbling greenish fluid kind of leaking now from the wounds of this thing. That's a good chunk of damage. All right, and Rictavio. Does he have the means to actually get anywhere that he could engage? Is the question.
Don't roll me.
Yeah, but he would like to be able to do something this turn.
He could
Yeah,
heal
right.
himself.
Okay, well, he's going to, I guess, come around and kind of take a flanking position because he wouldn't be able to even get up close and personal with it, I should say. So, and that's his turn. Animated armor. Would Dane have called for the thing to help?
No, he can just stay there.
Okay. Run.
I'm gonna look at the thing and go, what is everybody doing? It's just giving him a hug. Fine. And I will look at it and I will cast Dissonant Whispers on it.
Okay. Wisdom save.
I'm just gonna look at it and whisper, "How do you hear with no ears?"
What's your save DC?
16.
Okay. All right, so go ahead and roll your damage.
What was that? 3d6.
Nice.
Okay. Okay. So then, that being the case, I would say it is pretty well entangled with Malkar. So it's basically going to be the dragging rules.
Okay.
So that's going to be
5 attacks of opportunity?
yeah. So the thing is not very fast. And so it is going to like slowly drag Malkar as he is digging his heels in just about 10 feet. And provoke a shit ton of opportunity attacks.
Don't hit me.
Alright, so Dane, go ahead and make an attack with your weapon of choice. Okay. So 13 and 13. And that first opportunity attack is enough to just cut through the back of the thing, and you see a number of the tentacles just fall to the ground, and as the whole thing begins to collapse, you just see it begin to dissipate into this purplish fog that seems to just kind of swirl and collapse in on itself before disappearing and leaving Malkar collapsed, breathing heavily on the ground, but still conscious.
Are there any tentacles that were cut off still remaining?
No.
Damn.
Okay.
Well, with the rest of my move, I'm going to go 1, 2, and then hop back up on the bear, look over at Malkar and say, cheer up, Buttercup. And I'm going to bonus action healing words at first level.
Okay. Malkar gets 6 HP back.
Yes.
Oh.
And then that will end my turn.
Okay. Well, I guess that takes us back out of initiative. So what's everybody doing?
Glare at Malkar. He can see it somehow being, 50 feet away from me or however far he is.
Even if he can't see it, he can feel it.
Yes.
I'm going to snap my fingers, run over to Rictavio's cart, and go into where the meat was, and pull out 2 slabs of meat and run over and feed 1 to each bear.
Okay.
They shrug and they'll eat it.
All right.
I mean, they don't really need it, but they'll eat it.
Yeah. And I hop back on the one I was usually on.
All right.
It seems more amenable.
Makes sense.
I go climb up onto the wagon.
Okay.
I'm brooding.
No, you're bleeding. There's a difference.
That too.
I'm hoping that Malkar has learned his lessons and not that he should not summon evil creatures.
No, he definitely hasn't.
I'm still hoping. Against hope. I'm hopeful.
Just like you're hoping one day Ron will stop making stupid mistakes.
That too. He's getting better. I'm a good influence.
Or are you?
So, as Malkar climbs back up on the wagon, and everyone else is just kind of left to all their own devices, I guess. What are you guys doing?
Should we head in to see that dragon now?
Can the bears come?
Yeah, they can come.
Awesome. I am riding a battle bear into battle.
Okay. So let's see. I guess everybody else is pretty much on board with it. What's Malkar doing though? Is he hanging back again?
I guess I'll go this time.
Okay. And you guys are just gonna head right in?
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So yeah, Malkar and Rotavio are probably bringing up the rear, both kind of bleeding a bit.
I mean, we could take a short rest too. That's up to you guys.
Yeah, I could use a short rest.
Sure.
Okay.
Alright. I pull out. What instrument is it that, like, if you go into a Chinese restaurant and you hear, like, that music playing, what is that instrument?
Let's see.
I
Would you like
basically
an
want to
air
play
hoop?
that music.
Okay.
So, I will pull that out while riding on the bear, playing whatever that instrument is.
I will. Oh, well. If we wait an hour, though, I'll have to resummon new bears.
That's fine. I'll ride around on a bear anyway. I'll ride around on this one till it ends.
Then suddenly you just fall on the ground.
I shrug and continue playing.
Okay. So yeah, if you're taking a short rest, feel free to use hit dice.
Yes, please.
You get one of these here things. Oops. You get that.
One of them, their songs of rest.
Yep. You get an extra D8.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, after you guys heal up and lick your wounds physically and perhaps metaphorically in some cases, it would seem the time has come to head into Argynvostholt once again.
When we leave to head in, instead of bears, I'm gonna summon my giant spiders.
As soon as you summon
Okay.
one, I want to just give it a hug. And say, Healy spiders, yay!
It seems to wrap its forelegs around you and hug you back.
That's not disconcerting at all.
Rana's just in pure bliss.
Okay.
The pure bliss of being hugged by a giant spider.
Yep. A giant healing spider.
Indeed. All right. So, you make your way back into the mansion and up the stairs, traversing the pew and trampoline of webbing that was laid out across the collapsed balcony, and making your way back to the spiral staircase that you found that led up to the third floor. Remembering your conversation yesterday, you know that should you continue down the hallway that leads directly out of the stairwell and turn right, the way should be obvious from there, and that you will be in the presence, most likely, of whoever currently leads the Order of the Silver Dragon. So as you're making that trip, is there anything you guys would like to do, say, consider, what have you?
I want to check the fireplace before I cross the web, or after I cross the webbing. I want to check the fireplace where there was that whining.
Okay.
Before I follow everybody up.
Okay. There is still a bit of a kind of hissing sound coming from the fireplace.
Right. I will walk in the room and say, hey dragon, how do we save your knights? Like, as soon as I walk in the room, not even waiting for it to appear.
Okay. There does not seem to be any response.
I'll walk towards the fireplace then.
Okay. Also, is Dane bringing his armor with him?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so Ron approaches the fireplace. The hissing continues, doesn't seem to change one way or the other, but continue it does.
I'll kind of like stand off to the side and look up in the fireplace.
Okay. Doesn't seem like much has changed.
Alright, I'll leave and follow everybody else then. No dragon.
Okay. So the party of 6 plus animated armor plus 2 large spiders continues up the stairs, down the hall, and you approach the intersection that one of the revenants you spoke with the day before mentioned. You see crumbled rock and wood, seemingly debris from the collapsed roof above, just scattered all around. And as you look down the hallway to the right, you see almost immediately there is a large breach in, both rooms that seem to border the hallway. Sort of having collapsed in on itself is the opposite wall from where you're currently standing that would have formed one of the corners of this T intersection. And just, it is entirely ruined. You can see into the room. A lot of the same that you're seeing here. Collapsed roof, rubble. Let's see. It looks like the room that you're peering into from this angle has a tiled floor and a large iron bathtub that even the tub is overflowing with debris from the roof. You can see a torn curtain hanging in an open doorway in the center of the wall opposite you, seemingly leading to some other area toward the back of the mansion. And as you kind of survey the opposite area, at least from the intersection itself, there's not a whole lot to be seen from this angle other than more collapsed roof. The kind of dull gray Barovian sunlight shines in. And all you can really see from here is there seem to be a few weapons and shields and things scattered along the ground, kind of in the corner that you can currently see.
Is it like a pile of them?
Not a pile so much as like almost as though they were just sort of thrown about the room.
I'm gonna go back and knock on the door of where all the skeletons were. And say, hello, anybody there?
No response.
I'll open the door slightly and kind of poke my head in. Do I see anybody?
Seems all of the ostensible knights of the Silver Dragon are still seated around the table, save for the one empty seat that was there yesterday.
I'll say, is your leader still able to see us?
Not much has changed in the past 4 centuries. I don't know why it would now.
What I'm actually doing is I would like to look around the room and see if I see... Are they missing any weapons? At least the ones that I can see. Does it look like they're missing a shield or missing a weapon?
If they are, it's certainly not conspicuous. All of them seem to have swords at their hips. Few of them have shields, but it would seem to match up that those with the larger swords don't carry shields, and those with the smaller ones do.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll meet with him, and I should be back to talk to you guys. Sit tight, and I'll close the door.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure they were still there, too.
Mm-hmm.
And I will rejoin the group.
All right. So as you're standing here, maybe barely catching a glimpse of one corner of the room where the leader of the order might reside, what's the plan?
I'll look and say, do we think this guy's evil? I look at Malkar.
I don't know. He might just be corrupted.
I look at Malkar. You're one of those guys. What do you think?
I'm one of what guys?
Evil.
No, you're one of, like, what those guys do. You serve some higher power. What do you think? Does this guy seem evil?
One of the people that serve the dragons?
Well, you serve something, don't you? You've talked to me about it.
I'm failing an intelligence because I have no idea what's being talked about.
The guys in that room,
Yeah.
they serve somebody higher than them.
Yeah.
You do as well, correct?
Yeah.
So, by that dissociation, you would be able to tell me if you think this guy is evil or not. This is all Ron saying this, by the way.
I have no idea who they're serving.
Oh, I just assumed it was the same guy.
No.
Oh,
Because Ron just doesn't know how religion works at
yes,
all.
that is exactly what I was leaning toward.
How big is this hallway we're in?
It's about 10 feet wide, and you're currently standing at a T intersection with a long hallway that seems to join the two spiral staircases, and then one that veers off to the right that would seem to lead toward this chamber where the head of the order is.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
I suppose maybe we should talk to him then. Since Malkar doesn't know him, I figured maybe Malkar might go talk to him and be friends with him. I look back at Yoan. What do you think we should do?
Well, I guess we can all talk to him.
Okay. I will turn and stride across the room and knock on the door frame of where the curtain is drawn.
So to clarify, kind of paint a clearer picture of this, the curtain is actually on the opposite wall of the bathroom across the hall that has a collapsed wall as well. But the chamber that the head of the order is supposedly in is across the hall from that. And there is not even any semblance of a door left. Where probably there was a door at some point, there is instead a 15-foot hole in the collapsed wall.
Of the room that the leader is in.
Yeah, there's a massive hole in that wall, and the corner of this bathroom that you were looking into has also collapsed.
Oh, okay. Is there a door to this room?
The one with the leader?
Yes.
No.
So
Just
the
a
only
big-ass hole in the wall.
That's the only way to access it.
So it would seem.
All right, I will go kind of peek around the corner and peek in the room and see what I see.
Okay. So, here we go with the box text. The west wall of this 50-foot long, 30-foot wide audience hall has crumbled, leaving a gaping hole in a pile of rubble. That's the wall you're looking through right now. Weapons and shields that once hung from the walls have fallen to the floor and succumbed to rust. A large wooden throne carved to resemble a dragon with unfolding wings faces 3 tall windows to the west. Slumped in the throne is a gaunt, armored figure with one gauntlet wrapped around the hilt of a greatsword.
And is it that figure facing us, or is it away from us?
It would have its back to you.
Right. I'm gonna kind of like step fully into the the impromptu doorway and knock on the side of. Is it wooden or is it stone wall?
Mostly stone.
Is there any wood nearby?
I mean, there are collapsed, fragments of probably door frames and other, trim pieces of sorts.
Alright, I will pick one up and, kind of hold it up against the wall with one hand and knock on it with my other hand.
Okay.
Just to make a knocking sound. Say, excuse me, are you the leader?
Go away.
Oh, I can see it's not a good time. I'll come back another time. And I kind of start walking away and run right into Yoan. Oops, sorry. Yeah, he doesn't want to talk.
Can I make him talk?
That doesn't mean we don't need to talk to him.
He didn't want to talk to me. Yoan, you're good at making people talk that don't like to. You try.
I was pushing. I wasn't pushing the right button. I accidentally slipped to the next key.
Well, there's your problem.
I kind of do a sad face palm and just walk into the room and be like, yeah, so we need help getting rid of the Strahd guy, and your knights
The person in the throne chimes in, says, "If you have come to destroy me, know this. I perished defending this land from evil over 4 centuries ago. And because of my failure, I am forever doomed. If you destroy this body, my spirit will find a new corpse to inhabit, and I will hunt you down. You cannot free me from my damnation, nor would I wish it. If you have come to free this land from the creature that feasts on the blood of the innocent, know this. There is no monster I hate more than Strahd von Zarovich. He slew Argynvost, broke the life of the knight I loved, and destroyed the valiant order to which I devoted my life. But Strahd has already died once. He can't be allowed to die again. Instead, he must suffer eternally in a hell of his own creation, from which he can never escape. Whatever can be done to bring him misery and unrest, I will do. But I will destroy anyone who tries to end his torment."
we're not here to kill you. We just want to, release this land from Strahd. So your help in these matters would be greatly appreciated.
At this point, I poke my head around the corner. And seeing that Yoan hasn't been killed yet, I'll kind of stride in and stand next to Yoan.
As you're doing that, the figure on the throne stands up. You can hear the blade of the greatsword scraping along the ground as he does. And he just turns, and you can see his aged, wrinkled, pale face with this faint bluish glow emanating from the eyes. And he said, "I've told you once, I will have no part in the demise of Strahd. Now leave this place."
You won't even help us, cage him so that he can't affect the people in this land anymore?
And what cage do you have that would contain the devil himself?
Well, I was wondering if you had one. You're the one who wanted to.
He already resides in a cage of his own making. And while I wish he didn't hold such sway over the lives and well-being of others, this is the reality of the situation. I don't think anything in this realm would be capable of containing him for any worthwhile length of time.
So
Oh, go ahead.
So you'll just let these people suffer because you suffered? I mean, there's lots and lots of people out there that you could help, and they're suffering instead of being selfish.
He raises the greatsword with one hand, pointing it at you, and says, "Leave this place."
I had one more question.
For the DM or for him?
For him. That Ron says that. Does he respond at all, or just continue pointing it at us?
He doesn't move aside from a slight tilt of the head as he looks over toward Ron.
We encountered a dragon down below, or a ghost of a dragon, who asked us to aid in freeing his. And I say, "Excuse me for a minute." I fumble through a pocket and pull out a my piece of paper. Oh shit! I don't have that. Oh yeah, I do. I pull out my piece of paper. It says, "To help him free his knights that have fallen into darkness." I have a feeling that might be you. We have spoken to what I believe is Argynvost. He desires what seems to be, or his desires and our desires appear to be of the same wheel. We wish you no ill will or harm, but we do wish to put an end to Strahd once and for all, with or without the aid of yourself. Our
I
friend,
cannot allow that to happen.
Our friend here has, and I gesture outside, has been granted a gift by Argynvost himself. And I kind of whispered to the door, "Dane, come in here."
Okay, I walk in to the door and pull out my sun sword, showing it to him.
Argynvost himself has granted his blessing in the by the means of this sword. If everything that I've seen about this castle is true, then your leader wishes us to continue our path.
Argynvost is dead, and the pale shadows of him that remain here are part of my personal hell, much akin to what Strahd himself is experiencing throughout the whole of Barovia. The Silver Dragon is gone, his head likely mounted over some mantle in Castle Ravenloft. And with him died all hope.
Will you not at least let your knights accompany us and help free them from this?
You said yourself, this is your personal hell, not theirs. Allow them to at least make their own choice, rather than sit here in this hell that has been created. Nothing is getting done. Nothing is being solved by sitting around and moping and weeping over failures of the past.
And nothing was solved by the bloodshed and pain and suffering that we and the entire valley of Barovia underwent all those years ago.
Well, at the very least, can you tell us more about what you guys did, that we may not make the same mistake and be damned to the same fate?
We made the mistake of thinking we could win. As long as you hold to that foolish ideal, you're doomed to the same fate.
I know I can't win. None of us will make it out of this world alive. But I will damn sure try to make the world right, or as right as I can, before I do. And I'll just turn and walk out.
I'll turn towards the guy and just be like, well, you made Ron pessimistic. Ron is never pessimistic and sad. And I'll walk out.
You just hear a snort behind you as you hear the creaking of the throne as he sits back down.
So Ron pushes past everybody and walks all the way out to the wagon and just kind of walks up to this horse and is like petting the horse and just kind of talking to it more to himself, but he needs something to talk to, so he's talking to the horse.
You're not talking to my spiders?
No, the spiders are too close to this building. So.
What's everyone else doing?
Thinking of summoning another spaghetti monster on top of the guy on the throne.
I don't know. I guess I'll follow Ron out with my spiders.
Okay. So the group, or at least some of the group, proceeds back the way they came.
I'll go too.
All right.
All right. So you all leave the mansion and congregate outside by the wagon again.
It's like white knuckling trying to not try and kill that thing. He's getting on my nerves.
I mean, we could have killed him. Maybe we should kill him to free his knights. If he's in his personal hell, I don't think he'd mind.
At this point, Rictavio chimes in and says, "Oh, I do believe he mentioned something about returning should we break his body."
Yeah. Is there a way to... I don't know.
Prevent that?
Destroy his spirit? I don't know what else you would do.
With my experience in Barovia, it seems quite difficult to remove any soul or spirit from whatever foul magic encapsulates this place. I think there's some truth to what he said.
So where should we go from here?
Well, what's our next stop supposed to be? And I look at the mope you're on.
Huh? What? Huh? Ron, you kind of shook Ron out of a bit of a daze. What was that?
Where are we supposed to go again? Now?
Oh, you see him fumbling around like through 5 or 6 pockets till he pulls out a list of papers, adjusts his glasses. And then, nope, throws that card. Already did that. Nope, that one too. We need to look for a fortress inside of a fortress in a place hidden behind fire. And then I just kind of look at Yoan. Kind of blankly.
Any thoughts?
I look at my card again. Oh, what about that tower by the... Oh, no, wait, we already went there. Nope. No idea.
How about the Ember Temple? I know something's there.
I've told you once, I've told you 100 times now. That's not something to toy with.
Have you ever been there?
I tend to steer clear of places associated with such foul powers.
You can't tell me you haven't been at least curious to what's in there.
What foul powers is it associated with?
The tales I've heard of the Amber Temple tell of a school of mages who devoted their lives to containing whatever evil powers lie within. No one's heard from them. And most believe that those powers have seeped into the very beings of those that guarded them.
I look pointedly at Malkar.
Got something to say, Ron?
That sounds like he described you.
More of a reason to go.
Maybe we should destroy the temple. The less evil there is in this place, I guess it's not going to get much worse. Unless, of course, that evil is fighting with other evil to, I don't know, keep each other busy.
The enemy of my friend is my enemy. I quote Ron quotes matter-of-factly.
That's true, too.
I look to Octavio. I know we've all been through a lot. Do you have any other ideas of where we might find this knowledge to help us defeat Strahd?
I hate to say it, but I think the only fortress we haven't scoured in Barovia is Castle Ravenloft itself.
Well, then should we plan about getting in there safely? Think about...
I don't think Strahd likes you two, and I look between Yoan and Malkar.
What made you think that?
Well, when I met him, he didn't speak too highly of either of you two.
Well, nobody seems to speak so highly of him. So, I'm not too worried.
I mean, I'm down for anything. As long as it'll get me home and I can take care of Johnny James.
Who's Johnny James?
The asshole that replaced me in my band.
I could teach you new instruments. Show you different paths.
I'm pretty proficient in most instruments. I do like to sing, though. I've been told I do have a way with words.
Then you shall sing a chorus of death.
No, a chorus of death is not what he deserves.
Why'd stop at just him?
I look kind of concerned over to Malkar. I don't want to kill people. I just don't like the fact that he took over something I helped to create.
Then you take it back from his lifeless corpse.
I do plan to take it back. Not over his lifeless corpse. I don't hold ill will to him. Not that kind of ill will, at least.
I use Summon Greater Aberration and summon a Flump.
Okay. A flump appears.
Can you describe said flump?
Adorable.
Please hold.
Blurry picture could work. Ron looks questioningly to Malkar. Is this thing going to try to hug you to death again?
This is something completely different.
I look at Yoan. Kind of questioningly.
Do I know that a flump is good?
Go ahead and make. Let's see, you wouldn't have first-hand experience, so I guess history check. It just seems like some other weird tentacle monster.
I don't know,
Isn't he cute?
but he is cute.
Also worth noting, it's only about 2 feet tall.
So it looks like a little tiny, like, average size floating jellyfish.
I mean, I don't know that an average jellyfish is 2 feet, but
They can be pretty long. Okay, I'll look over and see. Well, he's definitely smaller than the other one. If I give him a hug, will he hurt me? I look at Malkar.
I don't think so. As long as you're not trying to hurt it.
Alright, I will gingerly walk up and kind of try to just gingerly bring it into a soft hug.
okay. As you do that, it's not really like returning the hug or anything. Just kind of hovering there, and you're kind of squishing it with a hug. But you do notice down where the tendrils of the thing are hanging, you can hear a faint sizzling sound.
I'll let go and back off too. What is that?
And as you look down, you can see that there are a few spots of your trousers that are beginning to kind of bubble and hiss and steam.
Malkar, what is this?
First time I've ever seen one up close.
I start laughing.
Huh. What color is it?
Pretty similar to the picture, kind of yellowish with the bluer tendrils.
I telepathically ask it what its name is.
And it tells you back telepathically, I have no use for names.
Sounds like a great idea.
I'm gonna cast a message on it and say, what are you doing with my trousers?
Well, when you invaded my personal space, you may have gotten some acid on them.
I look down. There's just a big hole in my trousers now, right?
I mean, it's not huge, but there are certainly some holes appearing.
Such a sassy flump.
I will message it again and say, what are you? And all I was trying to do is give you a hug.
I am a flumph. And I have no use for this hug.
Again, message. What use do you have? Why are you here?
Seemingly because this one summoned me.
I glance over at Malkar. Why would you summon this thing? It seems nice. It was minding its own business.
It telepathically messages Malkar, indeed, why?
Why not? Were you busy?
Did you say that telepathically or out loud?
Telepathically.
No.
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would, actually.
It kind of just turns away in a huff.
I look back at it, look between it and Malkar. Let's see. Malkar, why... You didn't answer. Why would you summon this flump, is it? It seems awfully smart, but busy.
He's not busy.
I cast a message on the flump. Were you busy?
More busy than your brain could comprehend.
He says he was busy.
I ask it aloud. Is that true?
Yes.
Can I insight it?
Sure. I mean, he was probably doing something before you yanked him from wherever you yanked him from.
Would you like to go back?
Very much.
I say, alright, give Cthulhu my regards, and then I release concentration.
Cthulhu? Well, I never. And he just sort of starts floating away before eventually, poof, disappearing.
Ron kind of has a bit of a smile on his face now. He was quite funny. Although, I don't know where I'm going to get a new pair of pants. That's not the first time I've said that about hugging something. Oh well. I guess our two options, and I look at the group, are Strahd, or Strahd's castle, and to the whatever place Malkar constantly wants to go. The mage place. Does anybody else have any other places that they need to go? Or things that they need to do?
I do not have a strong opinion.
Rictavio and Esmeralda both mentioned that they'd certainly like to get this Strahd business taken care of.
Would it be advisable to go back and maybe get some clarification on the last place we need to go from the fortune teller? This is more directed towards like Rictavio or Esmeralda.
Esmeralda chimes in and says, "Oh, I'm just as handy with a deck of cards as... Who might you have gone to, Madam Eva?"
Yes.
Fumble around, pull out my cards. Yep, that's her.
Well, speaking from experience, the cards are not overly specific in their findings.
They've been good.
This is true, but there's only so much we can tell from them.
I speculate that fortress within a fortress is definitely going to be Castle Ravenloft. the way the guy on the throne made it sound, that Barovia itself was a fortress, and then Castle Ravenloft is another one. So it's gotta be somewhere in there.
I don't know. I still think it's that tower. I think we missed something in the tower.
Oh, also worth noting at this point, the armor has been following Dane around, all day. But as you're, kind of milling about, having your conversations, it just stands still and ceases to move.
Can I inspect it? Maybe it needs more magic?
You can certainly inspect it.
That name, that was that like the activation word. I want to say it.
Would you like to make a history check, or do you actually remember it?
I'm backing the fuck away from that thing. The suit of armor. I've had enough of things that don't move and then instantly attack me, so I'm getting the fuck away from it.
Yeah, Malkar, you're having a hard time remembering. It was like Kavarn, maybe? No, that wasn't
trying
it.
to remember?
The name of the suit of armor?
Oh.
My guy should remember it since he's already said it before.
Go ahead and make a history check with advantage.
And this is why you're supposed to write things down.
Indeed. Alright, so yes, it does come back to Dane that the command word is Kazan.
I say that to it.
And it just picks right back up like nothing ever happened, moving, following Dane around.
As soon as it starts moving again, I'm running the opposite direction.
Okay.
I'll say, it's attacking! This is a scarecrows all over again.
Yeah, actually, if Ron is running in the opposite direction, he's probably heading toward the torn up scarecrow bodies.
Yep, and I'm gonna run up until I get to the scarecrow bodies. He goes, "Oh no!" And just turn and run the other way, arms flailing.
Okay, go ahead and make a dex save for me.
Pretty good at those.
All right. So yeah, you just turn around and your foot catches something, but you just kind of like power through it, and you're good to go. So you start running back toward the group, toward the scary armor.
No, basically like out into the group's over by Rictavio's wagon, right?
Yeah.
So I ran out towards the scarecrows. I'm running like out diagonally away from both, kind of like directionally to the. It'd be like, I guess, away from the road, as directly away from the path out. So,
Okay.
like out in the yard.
All right. Let's see. All right. So, as he's doing that, you all notice that there is now something trailing from Ron's boot. He might have snagged something and is now just kind of carrying it around with him wherever he goes.
I'm just running around and screaming.
Ron! I
Oh.
send out my spiders towards him. I will send my spiders to protect you. Come back here.
I run over to the nearest spider.
And I
Okay.
have the spiders herd him back to us.
All right. They scuttle over and through some like gentle nudging with their heads and big fuzzy tree trunk like legs, kind of coax Ron back over.
It doesn't take much. Ron's distracted by the spider.
Okay.
Can I surreptitiously look at what's attached to Ron?
Sure. It looks like a length of frayed leather cord around which or well, on which is attached, looks like part of maybe an animal horn or something, with fingerprints smeared with blood.
I look down. Oh,
I'm just gonna go over to Ron and take it off of his shoe
Okay.
and look at it closer.
All right. Yeah, it's pretty much what it looks like. Actually, go ahead and make a nature check. This is most definitely goat horn. Yeah.
how did that get there?
I'm gonna show it to everyone and ask if they know what it's for.
So it's just a leather strap with a horn attached?
Yeah, like think like a leather like necklace cord kind of thing.
Like a choker?
Not like a choker, like basically a leather string.
Oh, okay. And there's a horn.
Yeah.
Can I Arcana check it?
Sure.
Right. Never mind.
There are fading kind of residual elements of some sort of magic about it. Hard to really say more than that.
It's kind of magical. It's fading.
Do you know what school of magic?
I look at the DM. Do I know what school of magic?
Let me think about that one for just a second.
You want me to identify it?
Okay. I would say that it's hints of a couple different things. You get a little bit of a transmutation vibe from it, which is like the school that lets you kind of change the properties of objects, creatures, environments, what have you. And there's also this weird tinge of necromancy.
I will relay that to the group.
That might be the what caused the scarecrows. Maybe they were wearing those.
Would you like me to identify it?
We can let him identify it, and I'll go with you to look at the rest of the scarecrows, see if they're all wearing one.
I hand it to Malkar and go investigate the rest of the scarecrows or in the surrounding areas to see if there are any more.
Okay. Yeah, so you all look around, and sure enough, you do find these things, mostly still attached, somehow fastened to each of the scarecrows. Not really in any consistent way, but each one of them does have one of these tokens or pendants or whatever on its person, so to speak. And as Melkar is casting Identify, he doesn't really learn any more than what Ron was able to glean. There are kind of just fading hints of necromantic and transmutative magic. But it's not to a point where it is considered to be affected by any sort of spell, so much as just kind of losing all magical energy that it has.
I'll take one and put it on.
Is there anything else magical around the scarecrows?
How would you like to determine that?
Look, see if there's anything that looks like it doesn't belong in the scarecrow. and then do an Arcana check on it.
Okay. Yeah, so let's call that another investigation check, and then an Arcana check to follow it up. Okay. So let's see here. You find kind of scattered about around the fallen scarecrows a number of like small pouches. Peering inside, each one of them seems to contain this weird mishmash of natural components, different kind of varieties of material wealth, and some sort of dust. Each one of them, also along the bottom of these little satchels, seems to be crunchy with some sort of dried liquid.
Do I know what kind of spell these could be components for? What kind of creatures would use it?
Go ahead and give me a nature check.
I would like to speculate that it's the hags.
I'm gonna grab a bag and pocket it.
I have the sneaking suspicion also that it's the hags.
Okay. I mean, you don't know like specifically by race or whatever, like what specifically would have been able to do something like this, but it's very reminiscent of some of the more shall we say perverse things done by certain druids back where you come from. Very like dark pagan ritualistic kind of thing.
Oh, it's those fucking druids. We left some to live.
Well, there's one set of footsteps, so either they were the scarecrows or they sent the scarecrows over here. So we'll just have to keep an eye out for them.
Did the scarecrows have a stick in their butt, or were they just like standing on like stick feet?
They basically had stick feet, so to speak.
I'm gonna take the lower half of the one that was ripped in half by the bears, and just kind of like grab the lower half and just carry it over to the wagon. I am taking the lower half of that scarecrow.
Okay.
That 4D100.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be able to tell if... Oh gosh, those are some crazy numbers. If the scarecrows were once humanoids?
I'd say at a rough glance, I mean, there's nothing that necessarily says like, oh yeah, these were like built around people or anything like that.
Okay. Well, if we're gonna head into Strahd's castle, we need a plan.
Well, I could go in under the guise of talking to him and letting him know that Vallaki is probably not the best choice for a concert. And have a look around, maybe.
Are your acting skills up to that?
And I just look like I got shot, and I would like to act like I got shot. Just right there on the spot. So, is that like a performance check?
I guess.
Just kind of like grab my heart and like, and just fall over.
I mean, it might be a little over dramatic, but it's, you know, there's probably a crowd that'd be into that kind of portrayal.
I kind of lift my head up. How'd I do?
I guess that's good enough.
Okay.
So, do we want to send Ron in and have him scope out the area first?
Bring us all with him.
I could.
Say we're his bandmates.
He knows of you both, though.
Well, you're new bandmates because you heard that the other ones turned against you.
I look at Melkar. What instruments can you play?
Instruments of Death.
I've never heard of that one. Is it like a didgeridoo?
There was like that big tentacly one earlier.
He looks like he could play a mean guitar, or lute, in this case.
I facepalm at the thought of that.
He could be our laser light show. Like our light and sound guy. I look at Rictavio. How about you? Do you play any instruments?
I've picked up one or two in my time.
Any in particular?
Fairly proficient at stringed instruments.
Okay, we can make that work. So we got Yoan on the bongos. I can sing. Melkar can be the lights and sound show. Rictavio on the lute. How about you, Esmeralda?
She just raises an eyebrow and looks at you like, really?
Do you have a better plan?
Slay the vampire rather than entertaining him?
I mean, I'm working on it. Wait a second. You can come and go as you please, can't you?
You mean from Barovia?
Yeah.
Again, it certainly takes some doing,
Well,
but what do you have in mind?
I don't know. I was kind of hoping somebody else would fill in the blanks.
Could you get us out of here?
I'm afraid I can't, given that I'm not actively serving the devil. It's all I can do to get out of this place myself.
Well, I already mentioned him that I would like to bring my band in. We could perhaps... Oh! And I look over at Dane. I didn't even think about it. Do you play any instruments?
I do not. I only have a bright, shining sword.
Well, you don't even have to have an instrument. I can possibly provide you with an instrument. I just needed to know if you know how to play anything.
Nope.
Are you
The
opposed
sword. He knows how to
I know
play
how to
the
play
sword.
I know how to make a sword.
Are you opposed to being thrown?
Depends on why.
Entertainment.
Possibly.
It's the best chance we have to roll with. Well, we... I don't know. I mean, I don't know that I could get everybody in, but I know I could at least get Yoan and possibly Rictavio in with me. Electric Rictavio, are there any other places of interest that you know of that we haven't been to yet that might be of some aid?
He thinks while he consults his campaign setting. Well, I'm not sure what benefits there are to be gained, but there is a ruined village by the name of Berez. Suppose it could be useful to scrounge for whatever supplies we might need. Beyond that, there's really nothing I can think of that would do us any good. And he kind of looks over at Malkar as he says that.
What does that look for?
What look? He does not break eye contact with you.
I'll make me summon a giant spaghetti monster.
What? How many times can you bring a giant spaghetti monster?
Enough.
I kind of like that cute little smart one rather than the big floppy laser beam eye one.
That one was just an asshole.
I've dealt with worse people.
Maybe I should ask if Strahd wants to see one.
You could be my backup singer, then. Can you sing?
No.
Can you dance?
No. No.
Alright, I guess
He is the embodiment of evil, but he can dance like a motherfucker.
Alright, I guess we should head... is the village on the... I look at Octavio. Is the village on the way to the castle?
Let's see, he is racking his brain once again.
Sorry.
That's all good. So essentially, what he tells you is that it is just down the foothills from here, though the best way to get there would probably be to double back and take the road to Vallaki before branching off.
I suppose we could go through Vallaki and see how it fares.
Hopefully we survive going through Vallaki.
That was where the what was it?
The one who killed the
No,
Burmeister.
that's where the Blue Water Inn is, right?
Yes, it is.
You also pissed off those girls. I did.
Yeah, we should.
Are you, Brown, are you talking about the Vistani chicks?
Yeah, wasn't that the Blue Water Inn?
No, that was the inn in Barovia.
Oh,
The Blood of the Vine.
okay. It's been a while.
Yeah, we could go play
Or you
Danica.
killed the orphans.
Yeah, that one.
We could
We
go pay
left.
Danica a visit in Valaki. I'm sure she would want to know if we were ready to make our final stand.
That is true.
And she may be able to aid us in some way. So, I guess, yeah, let's head out to Valaki. And maybe stay the night at the Blue Water Inn. And see if maybe she has any advice. At least we know we'll be somewhat safe there.
Any objections to that?
No, that sounds like a good plan to me.
And I look at Dana and I say, "You get to meet the Raven chick. She turns into a raven." Like, ooh,
Whoa.
oh, never mind. I wasn't supposed to say that.
All
I
right.
look around nervously.
Yeah, top secret. Okay. So, are you guys just gonna depart right now from the mansion then, and try and travel mostly by daylight?
Yeah, would we be able to make it in a day?
Let's see. Yeah, I think you could swing it, having a horse and carriage and all.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
All right. So you all pile in the wagon, well, in or on, mostly on, given that there is a saber-toothed tiger carcass inside of it.
I want to
And-
send Strahd a message with sending.
Okay. And what do you want to tell him?
I want to ask him if he's seen a giant tentacle monster before, and if not, would he like to?
Are you? Oh, yeah, you're familiar with them, I guess.
Okay. There is no response.
Yeah.
So-
All these spells wasted.
Yeah, so you all pile in and on, and you're off down the road, and before too long, the decrepit old mansion of Argynvostholt fades behind you, obscured by the thick woods. And a couple hours into your ride, you kind of make your way back to the main road that sort of stretches across Barovia, the old Svalak road. And as you're preparing to turn right, you see someone seems to have made a camp just off this intersection. There's a pack sitting by the early makings of a fire, and no one immediately about to be seen.
Is it just a single pack?
Mm-hmm.
Remind me, the last time I messaged, I think it was Ivana.
Irina.
Did I ever get a response from her?
You did not.
Alright, I'm gonna try to cast, as soon as I see this, I'm gonna cast sending, and I'm gonna message her and just say, Irina, are you there? And if so, where are you?
Okay. There is no response.
Okay.
I
You
am going to try and see if I see tracks for where this may have or whatever may have left to go after setting up this campsite. Yep.
What?
Sorry, she's gonna walk up and look for tracks. Survival check. All right. So yeah, it's pretty quick and easy. You know, you kind of look by the pack and you see a set of footprints leading off into the woods, and as you're kind of following them, you get maybe 10, 15 feet in before you just hear what sounds like hundreds of screaming, anguished voices.
I'm gonna go back from whence I came.
Do we all hear this, or is this just Yoan hearing this?
Just Yoan.
Going back towards the party.
All right. As Yoan quickly turns around, all of you, including Yoan, hear a voice yell from a little bit deeper in the woods. Hail, friends! Can I help you?
Who are you?
And that's where we'll pick it up next time.